Now, that was a nice Tuesday. That's what it's supposed to be. That is when it feels nice. When I opened up the video saying, you know what, you have a brain. You're not the scarecrow from Wizard of Oz. You know how to use it. You take either the under 6.5 in the Islanders, you take the under 6.5 in the Dallas game, and combine that with the Oilers. Both of those will give you plus money. And you take your favorite. Don't look at me. I'm giving you the option. I'm giving you 2 layups. You pick your... Well, maybe it was a trick comment because both of them hit. I don't want to say rather easily, but both of them hit. And the Oilers, I mentioned in yesterday's video, enough of the baloney with the Oilers and another team that's going to be playing tonight. I want to see some Game 5 beatings. And the Oilers were the first to come through. Who's that other team who I said I want to see that Game 5 beating? I'm going to remind you, right after I remind you to go over to Caesars, create a new account, and you could take advantage of their first bet being risk-free up to $1,250 as long as you're a new user on the platform and you are obviously located in a state or province where sports betting is permitted and that has Caesars Sportsbook. Last night, we took Evan Bouchard and the Oilers to win because apparently you get 1 guaranteed power play goal per game. You rip a slap shot off Zach Hyman's face. It goes in the net. You get your Bouchard point, and you get your plus money Edmonton Oilers victory. That was a very nice thing to see. We have another Caesars same gamer. We'll get to that one in a second because I just want to remind you, if you got a problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Somebody will be there to help you out. Yeah, I've had a rough 4 nights. Let's do big tonight. You can't be like that. If that's you, call 1-800-GAMBLER. So on this Wednesday night, only 2 games, but these are 2 games that we can kind of focus in on and see some things that we like. Now, obviously, I told you, Game 5, I want to see that Oilers beating. Game 5, I want to see that Avalanche semi-beat. I'm not calling for a massive beating, but for God's sakes, I want to see a first period effort where they come out of that first period with the lead. None of this fall behind 1-0. 4 straight games where they've conceded the first goal. Enough of this. And if I know the Avalanche, they will be hell-bent on coming out and scoring that first goal. You know that's circled on the charts in the locker room. You know they got that on the dry board. Now, does that mean they're necessarily going to do it? We'll see, but I think they're going to try to play well enough to do it. We already have a little preview of games without Cale Makar. I know you're probably thinking, Andy, man, your Avalanche, they're not going to have Makar in this home game. Yeah, there's just no Makar, but there's also no McCann, their top scorer, their guy that they rely on. And I know they're a team that is death by 1,000 needles. I know they have a bunch of 20-goal scorers, but you've taken out their main threat to shoot the puck. And then on the flip side, why don't you go look up the Colorado Avalanche's record without Cale Makar this year? It's like 17-3-2 or something like that. And we've dealt with many of those games. We won the division at the end of the year with Cale Makar just being rested the whole time. That final stretch of games where they were neck and neck with the Wild and the Stars, they won all of them without Cale Makar. They know how to deal with injury. They lost Nichushkin in Game 3, won that game rather easily. They know how to deal with losses. And this is one, everybody knows where they slots in. They've been sitting Jack Johnson these first couple of games. He'll be ready to go. That's the beautiful thing about them now. They always have one extra defenseman in the case or event one guy gets injured, or in this case, suspended. But we know, what do we do every single time this happens? Well, the first thing we do is we take the Colorado Avalanche to go up 3-2 in this series. Okay, remember, first round last year, my Tampa pick, first series wasn't the easiest, and then you want to know what they did? They rewarded us with a sweep in the round after that. But I will be taking the Colorado Avalanche. I know they're going to be trying to score first. And there's no Makar, so do you know what that means? Who are we taking for a point? Yes, you guys remember, Devon Toews to register a point because he's going to be operating the top of that power play. And when you got McKinnon to your left and you got Rantanen to your right, I'll take the odds that you're going to put one in. And we saw Rantanen score a power play goal last game. So now I think that power play finally is going to operate with a little bit of confidence because they were dry those first couple of games. So give me Devon Toews to register a point with an Avalanche win. That will get you the Avs at plus money. That's a classic here on this channel when Makar's out of the lineup. The Devon Toews over half of a point with an Avalanche win. And then you guys remember a couple nights ago, who'd I tell you has registered over 2 shots in every single game in this series? Yeah, Bo Byram. He's like a Cale Makar light. Relax. I'm not saying he's a Norris winner. I'm not saying he's a Conn Smythe winner. I'm saying that if you took Cale Makar and just dragged everything down just a little bit, is Bo Byram. He plays the same way. He has offensive flair. And I think without Makar in the lineup, he's going to be even more prone to shoot. Now, look, they bumped his shot total up to 2.5. I loved that 1.5. But now you're going to give me 2.5 at like plus 140. And I know that those Avalanche are going to try to pour pucks onto the net. You got to love those Avalanche after a loss, a playoff loss. That's like the new Lightning. Remember last year? When we were riding that streak? After every single Lightning loss, we would take them to win in the next game. It worked out almost every single time until they got, I think that was to the Rangers game 1. And then they lost game 2. But these Avalanche, I expect them to come home and rebound and hold off the Seattle Kraken. I'm taking the Avalanche to win this one with those props that I just gave you. So that's what I got for that game. Now we got the Bruins looking to close out the Florida Panthers. I think they're getting Bergeron. I think Bergeron is nearly a certainty to play. I would like to see Krejci play, but I think he's a little more iffy. But I believe we're going to be seeing my favorite line at home reunited. The Bergeron, Pasternak, and Marchand. I already told you how much I love Marchand at home in home games throughout these playoffs. He's just a proven playoff performer. He's a rat. He's a rat, and you can't get rid of him, and especially at home, where maybe he can get the slightly better matchups. I really am tempted to go with Marchand again. If you want, you can also go Bergeron in his first game back. I will even greenlight the over 1.5 points for David Pasternak because I don't want to say he's been struggling, but this really hasn't been his series. Pasternak, Bergeron, and Marchand, expect them to get on the board. I will once again use a Caesars same game parlay. We got the Taves with the Avalanche, and give me Brad Marchand the Rat with the Boston Bruins. It's a way you can get those Bruins at plus money because we got those discounted Bruins. Because Florida came out there game 2, won those games, and then Florida didn't have both of their top 2, or Boston didn't have their top 2 centers in those games in Florida. Well, now they are at least going to have their top center back. I think that's going to be a little motivation. And Ullmark played fantastic in the last game. So lastly, I'm thinking about doing a little Bruins money line and then doing under 2.5 goals for the Florida Panthers. That will get you right around even. And that is what I got for you here on this Wednesday. We only got 2 games. If you want to go ultra chalk, you ready? Bruins money line, Colorado money line. You get plus money at that. You can be an intro to 101 gambler. That can be your first college debit card. The most basic of basic of basic. You know, your Kirkland undershirt bet. Money lines are the 2 favorites. And look, I don't want to sit here. If you watch my NFL videos, I don't want to just be saying favorite, 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 favorite. There are certain instances that I think it calls for. If maybe someone's going to have a little bit of a down game, maybe the Bruins because they're up 3-1. But with the Avalanche, 2-2 coming home, they don't want to go back to Seattle down 3-2. They're going to be the one who's desperate. But I think both of these teams are good for wins. So those are the bets that I got for you. Make sure you're subscribed to the Odd Shopper channel here and come follow me on social media. I got a good prop that I just realized that I forgot to say in this video. And I could say it right now. You want me to say it? I'm not going to. So come over to my Instagram. It's at Andy Francis. Click the little Sniff Central button, and you can see all the stuff that I put in there for you guys. I'll put it on my story. It's at Andy Francis, the same way you see it right about there. I will talk to you guys later, and I'll see you tomorrow.